The first great album that I heard in 2022 was Billy Talent's Crisis of Faith. Now, despite the band having been super successful since like 2003, this is the first time that they release an album where the first three singles all went to number one at rock radio. And the single End of Me actually topped the charts for 12 weeks, making it their longest running number one single from their entire career. And I have a confession. End of Me was actually my most played song of the year on Spotify. So the album kicks off with the song Forgiveness 1 and 2, which is this like wild prog rock song that has crazy guitar riffs and time signatures. And then about two-thirds of the way through the song, it changes into this slower, groovy Pink Floyd type song. And this tells you you're in for something different. This is not your typical Billy Talent album. Now, song number 2 is one of their singles, Reckless Paradise, and that sounds like the Billy Talent that you know and love. Now, I've always liked Billy Talent. I enjoy almost every song I've ever heard from them. I'm familiar with all their albums, but I'd never consider myself a super fan until this album. I mean, this album just blew me away. I've been recommending it to people all year long, and I liked it so much that I actually bought tickets to go see them live. I saw them with Rise Against in Ottawa, and they were amazing. The sound was great. The songs were great. Ben's vocals and performance and energy were awesome. The backup vocals from Ian were masterful. His guitar playing was super tasty. Bass playing was groovy. And I had a pleasant surprise. I look at the drummer, and normally it's Jordan Hastings. And I look and I'm thinking, this looks like Lowell Campbell, who's the drummer for my favorite band here, Winter Sleep. And I'm thinking, well, that doesn't make any sense. And then later on in the show, Ben said, I'd like you guys to welcome our new friend Lowell. So it was indeed Lowell Campbell. So I thought that was pretty cool that my favorite band of all time, their drummer was filling in while Jordan Hastings was out on tour with Alexisonfire. Now, I actually have a little bit of insider information here. I was lucky enough to do an interview on episode number 79 of the podcast with Jordan Gauthier, who is at the forefront of all things drums in Canada, whether it's as a drum tech or manufacturing or repairs or rentals, anything, people go to Jordan. He's the man. And he worked on this Billy Talent album. So he gave us a little bit of insider information about the recording process when it came to the drums. So here are some words from Jordan Gauthier. He says, "This was the wildest drum teching experience that I've ever had in the studio. I've never brought so much drum gear before, which was 2 vanfuls. Ian DeSaw is a freak about tones, not just guitar, but also drums, and he has an amazing ear. I've been a part of many records, and what stands out to me was how the people involved in the making of this album were so into the nerdiness of the drums. Bigger acts normally record all the drums for an album in 3 to 5 days. Billy Talent recorded just one drum track per day. We'd line up 20 snare drums. I'd hit each of them. We'd go 3 hours through the snares and then on to the cymbals. We'd spend 6 hours to figure out drum tones. Then Ratbeard, Jordan Hastings, their drummer, would bang out a few takes and they'd use the best one. Just an hour and a half of drumming for the 6 hours of chasing tones. It was such a cool experience. Everyone involved was flattering with comments. When the record came out, I listened to it for a few days because I was so proud and the journey was so cool. I think it's an awesome record." So that's Jordan Gauthier. So Billy Talent's drummer, Jordan Hastings, actually plays drums on another album coming up on this Best Albums of 2022 list. So we'll check that out in a second. And if you were just going to check out 3 songs from the album to see if it's for you, I would recommend the 3 singles. So End of Me, Reckless Paradise, and I Beg to Differ.